What's good? TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. It's your boy Willie Way back another sports content video of the NBA. In this sports content video of the NBA, I'm going to be talking about what Jeff Teague said on his Club 520 podcast tour off the court with DJ Wells, B Hen, and Joe Johnson. So shout out to the Club 520 podcast. Great content, great podcast. But I gotta really talk about this because Jeff Teague be wilding, and the Club 520 podcast, they had a tour called Off the Court. I think they gonna be in Houston, Atlanta, and like other cities. But I'm guessing they was in Atlanta because, Joe Johnson's from Atlanta, and he popped out. They was talking about their stories, whoop-de-whoop, right? But one thing Jeff Teague said that was on my mind like the whole time, like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta talk about this. Like he's wilding. I'm not gonna lie. He said that the team he had, the Hawks team he was with Joe Johnson on, they could win a title if they was in this era. See, my thing with Jeff Teague is like, bro, I would understand if he was like this superstar type player and the team around him was pretty good to decent. Then I'm like, hey, he probably could make a third round or two. But no, like, Jeff Teague at his best was a semi-star, gang. Like, it's not like, I'm not trying to say like that's a bad thing. Like, feel me? Jeff Teague was a pretty good basketball player. Like, he was nice for his position. He was a great passer, decent shooter. He could score. He's low-key an underrated scorer, but he wasn't a great scorer. He wasn't no superstar type scorer, But yeah, bro, like his team, I'm looking at, so I looked up the best season he had with Joe Johnson, and it was the 2009 to 2010 season. They won 53 games. They only lost 29. I'm looking at this roster. I'm like, it's a playoff team, but they ain't going to the finals. You can't even see the Thunder. So how you gonna see? Feel me? So how you gonna like? Yo, I ain't gonna lie. He's chatting, right? So anyway, I'm gonna go through the roster and y'all tell me in the comments like if y'all think this is a championship caliber team. So Jamal Crawford, I don't gotta say too much. Jamal Crawford, he cold as hell, one of the greatest 6-man players of all time. Josh Smith, he was a star around his time, like slightly, great defender. I didn't know his defense was that good. I just thought he was just like an offensive type player, but great defender, great rebounder. He just couldn't shoot, but when he went to that rim, there's nothing stopping him. Al Horford is still one of the most impactful players in the NBA to this day. Joe Johnson, look, Joe Johnson was one of my favorite players when he was on the Nets. Look, that nigga cold as hell. Like, he'll give anybody a bucket. But I gotta be real. This is a Joe Johnson fan that's about to say this. He's not a number one option. He was a great player, definitely a star. That most definitely a star, no question. But Joe Johnson is really a second, third option type guy. Because like, as a number one option, he was pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Like, he made the playoffs. He made the second round a few times, but that's about it. Like, outside of scoring, Joe Johnson really not going to give you a lot of, thing. He's not really a passer. He's not really a defender like that. Like, he's just a walking bucket. There's nothing wrong with that. But those type of players usually are never number one options, So the fact Jeff Teague think that Hawks team can win if Joe Johnson number one guy is kind of crazy, Marvin Williams is a good role player. Zaza Pachulia, one of the worst players of all time. That nigga is dog shit. I don't care. I will always get tired at that nigga for what he did to Kawhi, and he just dog shit on top of that. Even if he didn't do that shit to Kawhi, he's really a bad basketball player. Like, I never seen him do anything effective on the court outside of injured niggas. He's a bitch. But anyway, Mike Bibby was cold. He was declining around this time, but he was still pretty good. I don't know who Maurice Evans is. I already talked about Jeff Teague. Jason Collins, I never watched him, but, yeah. People going to laugh when I say that nigga name, because, yeah. But anyway, Randolph Morris, I never watched him before. Yeah, Mario West, George Smith, I never watched these niggas. But, yeah, that was the whole roster. That team is not making the finals. They're not beating that. They're not being a healthy Cavs, a healthy Pacers, a healthy Knicks, or Boston, respectfully. They could definitely beat the Pistons and the Magic, though. The Bucks is 50-50 with me because Giannis could really beat them niggas by himself. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not even trying to disrespect Jeff Teague, Hawks team, but come on, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Your team is really like your team is cool, bro. Like, this team is cool. Like, second round exit at best. You know what I'm saying? Unless niggas get hurt, they got a cool chance. But what's it called? Yeah, that's my take on what Jeff Teague said. Like, do y'all think that whole team can make the finals or at least the third round? Let me know in the comments. I'm out of here.